Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to My Channel TV. This is the end of season awards. Got a few categories, we've got a couple of beers on the go here, end of season party, and we're looking forward to it. Like you've only had one, you would think, can I get your words out? Let us know in the comments if you agree with these awards and drop yours down below.
Yeah, give your own.
Well, we'll start off with Player of the Year. Player of the Year now. Newcastle United officially announced Joe Linton as their Player of the Year. Was that one by fans or by the club or by the players?
I think by the club, yeah. I think they did open it up to fans, but I think it was just a club decision.
So that was GS7 who, I mean, nobody would have thought that at the start of the year, would they? Apart from me, when I said it back in November, before he had his first game, I said he was going to get the best out of him and all that. Slightly taking the piss. But there's been no piss taken going on since then. He's been incredible as that midfield enforcer. From a flop striker to a midfield master, dominant in the middle of the park. He's even chipped in with goals now as well. We're just talking about goals now. The Norwich performance, few goals here and there. The assist against Arsenal the other night. This is recorded before the Burnley game, so you never know. He might get another one.
Hat-trick.
At Burnley, yeah. So, I mean...
Tell about Joe Linton's hat-trick against Burnley, will you?
He's been... predict it. He's been amazing. Is he your Player of the Year as well, though?
I think he's got to be. I think there's a few candidates, but none more so impressive than Joe Linton. Yeah, I think he's done everything. I think he's been a really, really good player for us. I think he's been like a new signing, like that £40 million striker that was supposedly signed under Steve Bruce that couldn't get a sniff under his horrible defensive, lonely formation that no striker thrived off.
Remember Rochdale with me and you.
You know what it is? Like, I was patient with him up until then. That was another game just before that. I think it was Wolves at home. I think it was where he was just proper lazy, but you could completely understand it because of like the formation that were played. Like under Nagelsmann at Hoffenheim, like he was all right. He was playing like in a formation where he had bodies around him. Then he comes to St James's, he's just up top by himself with a defense and midfield in front, and our midfield and defense is fucking miles back up there, and like. He's not a straight guy. He's not used to that kind of formation. So I was a bit pissed off with the way we were treating him. But yeah, that game away to Rochdale in the January in the Cup. I've never seen.
Genuinely didn't look League 1, League 2 quality.
I've never seen a worse individual performance. And I know like fans kind of like jump on people's backs, and that was probably the final straw for a lot of people. It pissed me off for a long, long time. I never want to see him back at the club. Until we did start to change things around a little bit. I think Brucey did get a little bit more adventurous. I think we played him a little bit more out onto the left, where he did play a little bit for Hoffenheim, and he was doing all right. He was grafting, he was doing all right, but yeah, just never really got the best out of him. And he was the kind of player that we were just kind of keeping around because we spent a lot of money on him. Like, he can play in various roles, but where's his best? Even at his best, is he good enough? Like, especially for £40 million? The answer was no. But under freakish circumstances, like Eddie Howe just happened to just randomly hire him into centre mid because of an unfortunate red card to Kieran Clark in an extremely important game. Just to shuffle the pack, just to deal with having a man less. Joey accidentally ended up in centre mid, and it was the best accident that's ever happened to the club. He's looking every penny worth 40 million. Like, he's an absolute enforcer in midfield, rock solid. Gets right stuck in, wins tackles, gets his big body in the way, good at carrying forward as well, like linking up with his teammates, short passing, carrying the ball forward, getting in the edge of the box. Shooting still could be worked on, but he has scored a couple of good goals, like that goal against Norwich away. Really good finish. 2 goals in that game for him. A couple against Brentford, 1 at home, 1 away. He's just like, we could throw him in the most improved category, but I think he's better than that. I think overall this year, I think he's been absolutely phenomenal.
It's got to be Player of the Year for me.
Yeah.
You said there was a couple of candidates. Who would then be for you? I mean, Bruno hasn't really played enough, has he?
Yeah, Bruno hasn't played enough.
Massive. Yeah, same with Trippier.
Yeah, I think like for minimal performance, even Trippier could be in with a shout, even though you only played 6 games. But yeah, Bruno towards the end, Wilson for being my top goal scorer. Maxie's always going to be in that argument, but probably not this year. Shelby's been improved a lot.
John Burris had some Player of the Year. That.
Yeah. Shaw's been really good. Dubravka. But yeah, all these names I'm throwing out there. Yeah, like Shelby. Joe Linton's probably been the most consistent, most reliable. and most impressive. So yeah, player of the season for me.
Player of the year for us, Joe Linton, all day long. Now, young player of the year, not many young players at Newcastle.
Yeah,
is there?
There's
Not many.
No.
One of the brightest sparks is Elliot Anderson. He's still on loan. Well, he's not anymore, but he's still off Premier League quality, you would say. So far, maybe the Championship is next step. Really shined at Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
Other young players, I mean, Joe Linton's pretty young, to be fair. I mean, Joe Linton's pretty young.
Yeah.
Bruno's pretty young.
Him and Maxi around about 24, 25.
Early 20s, you know, it's still pretty young. But you look around, our squad is quite old, like, and I think you mentioned it in the player ratings video, Joe Willock.
Yeah, Joe Willock, 22 years old, so he is young. I think when you're touching 24, 25, like Bruno, like Joe Linton, like Maxi, like Longstaff, like you're not really that young anymore. So I think by default, I think Joe Willock is my young player of the year. Because we haven't really seen Elliot Anderson, we haven't seen Matty Longstaff. None of the others have broke through. They've got like Lucas De Ball, who got a spot on the bench a couple of times. Who else? That was another youngster got a couple of spots on the bench. But unless you played any first team minutes, then yeah, you can't really be player of the year. So yeah, for me, 22 years old. Yeah, Joe Willock.
2.5 years, really. I'm just looking at other players that are. I mean, Sean Longstaff there, born in 1997. So early 20s as well. But nah, it's got to be Willie for me. Like the start of the season, he made quite a few appearances. He was class in that spell where he went on a 9-10 game unbeaten run. He was in midfield keeping Bruno Guimaraes out the side. So I think young player probably has to go to Joe Willock, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. Joey's 25. Maxi's 25.
Bruno's...
Sean Longstaff's 24. Bruno's 24.
See, we really don't have young
players.
players.
We don't. No.
We really don't. Jamal Lewis obviously couldn't get a game. Yeah. So, kind of by default, Will.
Yeah, he is. How is Matt Target? He's 26.
26.
How is Paul Dunn? 24.
24. Paul Dunn, and just like Paul Dollar. Watch the player ratings video if you don't get that. Yeah, so well done. You've won the Young Player of the Year award from the Live channel.
Congratulations.
You get absolutely fuck off from us. Most improved.
Moving on to the next. Most improved.
Now, like you said, the easy option is Julian for this.
Yeah.
By miles.
Yeah.
But I like your shout in the player ratings. I'll let you take me on it.
Yeah, well, I don't really like doubling up on awards. You know, it's
selfish.
It really pisses me off when like the PFA announced like Young Player of the Year and like they're nominated in the like Player of the Year category. I don't think that should be allowed. I think if you're good enough to be in the Player of the Year category, then you don't need to be in the Young Player of the Year category.
Let someone else be in there.
That pisses me off. That so. I think Joe Linton probably is the most improved, but because we've given Player of the Year, there's any number like Shelby.
Yeah,
I think Shelby's a very good shout. Fabian Shaw.
Yeah.
Any one of them. Fraser, Murphy, Sean Longstaff. I think they've all improved a hell of a lot this season than what they did last year. But yeah, for me, I think the most improved is got to be Emil Kraft. I think his development this year, and particularly in the last few weeks, it's been staggering. He's been one of them players where people look at him and think, "You're just shit, really, aren't you?" You're
not a Pro League player.
He's a backup. Like, make no mistakes about it. Obviously, even before Kieran Trippier, he wasn't guaranteed starting. Like you had like Manquillo there. Even Murphy played a lot of game times there before we saw Yedlin. He was probably number one ahead of Kraft. Like he's been a rotational player, but for someone who is just backup rotation, I think his contribution this year, in the absence of Trippier since January, he's been phenomenal. I think he's been really, really good, really reliable, like very good, both defensively and getting forward. Maybe he's a bit more defensively than attacking. I think that's one style that he could work on a little bit more. But yeah, as far as most improved goes, and everyone's starting to see it now. Like I know, like I've been backing him up for quite a while. I've been having his back, thinking like he's not that bad. Like, is a £5 million backup signing? What do you want him to be? Like, do you want to be fucking Cafu?
Nothing. It's like buying a Corsa from 1942 and being surprised it doesn't start.
Yeah, so
I mean, buying a car that breaks down all the time, but you only paid 50 quid for it. Pay £5 million for Kraft. It's absolute pennies in this day and age.
So the people been getting on his back over the past few years. It's really been pissing me off. I don't think he's been as bad as what everyone makes out to be, but now he's starting to prove it to everyone else. Like he's kind of proven me right. So thanks, Crafty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's been really, really well these last few weeks. People have been taking note. Even the club, Twitter and stuff, been like putting out like appreciation posts and stuff.
All the time,
Heat maps, yeah. So
getting forward.
Yeah, like I think it's tough between Kraft, Shaw, obviously Joe Linton, Shelby. They could all be in this category, and I think it's very, very close. But for me, I'm giving it to Kraft.
I think so. I think it's clear that Eddie Howe's had an impact, but I also would give a mention to Kieran Trippier. I think Trippier's came in there and just guided him a bit.
Oh yeah,
guided
definitely.
him a bit on the training ground because he's management in games in terms of just simple stuff, looking around and making sure where his attacker is, marking players, being his positional awareness, getting up and down. He's been good at giving a 1-2, getting to the byline and getting across him. He's been a lot more solid at the back. We've seen goal line clearances from him. Yeah, it's mad the turnaround from Kraft as well, to be fair. It goes unnoticed because of Joe Linton's and various others until, like you said, recent weeks the club's Twitter have gone on it. But yeah, Kraft, wow.
Yeah, but that's another good thing about Trippier and all. Like Trippier's been absolutely phenomenal. We'll discuss him in the next category. He's a team player. Like he cares. He wants the team to do well. Most people that are injured could just be like, well, I'm injured. I'll just take a pay. Like Michael Owen. Like just I'll get paid. I'll turn up, do some workouts, go home. That's it.
Seen him in the dressing room on crutches and that, man, in the team photos, and that, remember?
Yeah, like you know, like he's having a word with everyone else, not just Kraft and not just Manquillo and people in his position, but the whole team. Like he's experienced. Like everyone is feeling the benefit of having a player as experienced, as quality as Kieran Trippier, and I think Kraft has really like improved a lot, having that kind of like leadership that he never would have had under Steve Bruce, never would have had obviously under Yedlin and Manquillo and people like that. Like he's been just brought in and just be like, well, just play when you want if you can. If someone's injured, then you'll probably play, and that's it. Like now, like, he's got motivation. Like Eddie Howe will bring the best out of him. He's got people like Trippier to lead him on, like experience and stuff. Like so, yeah, I think Emil Kraft's been really, really good the second half of the season.
And that next category where Trippier is involved is the signing of the season. Now, Willock can be included in this because he was signed last summer, but he won't be. So we'll go on to January. We'll go on to January where Trippier was the first one through the door, and then that led on to the likes of Dan Bain, Matt Target, Bruno Guimaraes, and Chris Wood coming through the door. I missed one there or not?
No, 5.
Yeah, so those are the 5 January signings. Signing of that window, signing of this season for me. And it is a tough one because let's talk about Trippier at first because yes, he's only played 6 games, but there's a couple of match winners in there. The free kick against Everton, the free kick against Villa, what he brings on and off the pitch, his organisational skills, his winning mentality, everything has just been unbelievable.
Yeah, it has. Like for me, he probably is going to be my sign of the season, and we can agree to disagree later on when we talk about Bruno and maybe a couple of others. But like that off the field presence, like that experience, the leadership, and I think he took a big risk because he was the first signing. He was the first signing of the new era.
He could have easily been playing Championship next year.
He could have done whatever he wanted to, man. Like,
by risk and coming to us, he could have been playing Luton.
Oh, right, yeah. He could have
been playing Luton Town.
Yeah,
he could playing Barcelona.
Yeah, he was quite happy. He was in the Champions League at the time. I think they were in the quarterfinals of the Champions League or the round of 16 in the Champions League. He was in the top 4 of La Liga. He's doing whatever he wanted to do, man. He could have done so much better than us. Like he came to us, took a massive risk. First signing of the new era. I think that opened the window. So I think it's going to be like a cultural signing in like 5, 10, 15 years. Like you can look back on wherever we end up, saying like he was the first one to take the plunge and where he came from. Like you can look at like Wood came from Burnley, Burn came from Brighton. They didn't really take that big a risk, did they? But Trippier took every risk.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I think he deserves that credit and he deserves signing of the season for that. As much as all the other factors we spoke about, like being injured for all this time, but still motivating everyone, taking on the role of captaincy, and even had the captain. Was it his last game, the game that he got injured? So he'd only played 5 games, and bang, captain's armband. Yeah. Like he's that kind of player, and I hope he gets the captain's armband in the future, and he's going to be a huge signing for us in the summer. But you could also stake a huge case for Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, mine's Bruno.
Yeah.
Bruno because I absolutely love Trippier, really, really do. But Bruno for me,
He's sexy, like.
I mean, I cannot believe how good he's been. Said it in the player ratings before in the season one. To come in to the toughest league in the world and act like you've played here for 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
It's just remarkable to come into a side that was struggling and had nothing about them. Obviously, when by the time he did start playing, we were on a good run.
Mm-hmm.
But our style of play, he took a massive risk as well.
Oh, massive,
turning down Arsenal to come to us,
yeah.
staying at Lyon, who were in the Champions League as well at the time. I think.
He could have done. Trippier could have been anywhere. Done what he wanted.
Like for a title charge, and he could have waited till the summer. But if he's stayed at Lyon, wait till the summer.
And if you think about the World
summer.
Cup's coming up at the end of this year,
yeah,
coming to a team like Newcastle, that could have fucked his chances out. Like,
really could have. But he came in, stepped up, and he's been unbelievable from minute 1 to minute 19 every game.
Yeah.
I think about the winner at Leicester, which was massive. But everything around that, the winner at Southampton, which was one of the best goals ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, absolutely unbelievable.
That Everton win,
the Southampton.
Southampton win. No, what was it? One that Leicester.
The Leicester
win.
Last second. But the overhead kick thing, or the back heel kick thing that he did at Southampton was incredible. But it's not even just that. It's his elegance in and around the pitch. It's the Brazilian flair. It's the touches to get away
like
from people.
The chip against Norwich.
The chip against Norwich, But he's so he's ridiculous. He's so silky in the way he plays, and he's so clever in the way he plays. Knows when to win the ball, knows when to sit off, breaks up play lovely. And from a bloke who apparently doesn't score goals, he scored more goals in Newcastle in a few months than he did in 2 years at Lyon.
Yeah, second top goal scorer of the season for him.
Yeah, few assists, but his work rate in and around the pitch, his interceptions, hit the way he gets on with the fans.
Oh, he loves it, doesn't he?
Absolutely loves it.
That's what I like about these guys.
Singing Bruno's fucking magic, man.
Yeah, that's what I like about people that
we've signed as well.
Like, people get it. Like, some people just come in and they get it. Like Matt Target, he's another one that got it.
Yeah.
And it's for as much as he was shitting, it's a bit of a bad example. Remember Kennedy?
Yeah.
Like, Kennedy got it. Like, he loved it at the club. Like Rafa got it. Like, he only came here to try and keep up. He didn't need to stay, but he did because he just got it. Like, some people like that, like, it gets under your skin. Like, people don't realize how big Newcastle is as a club, as a city, as a fan base.
Some people don't get it. Like back in the day, Sam Allardyce didn't get it.
Absolutely.
Like Loan didn't get it.
Yeah.
Loads of foreign players haven't got it. Came in, just didn't understand, didn't get the grips with it. But these lads who came in January,
Bruno just clicked from minute one. I think Joe Linton might have been a big influence for him and all. Definitely. I think having like a Brazilian mate, I think that's maybe why Joe Linton's A, struggled so much in the beginning, and B, thriving so much now.
You got to think
he's got like a pal, someone that speaks his language.
If we were, I wish I still was, 24, 23, 25.
Yeah, I'm not young.
And we moved to the really middle of Rio. And start waiting in a bar, and speak a word of Portuguese.
Oh, bonjour.
He'd be like, hey, shit, at cocktails, I'm like, I'm not, I just don't know anyone, and I'm shitting myself. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they've come over here, and they don't know the language, so it has helped Jordan massively, as has helped Bruno having each other. But Bruno's impact on and off the field is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a player. World class. Said it at the time of saying
it is.
Said he could play.
It is weird looking at someone like so good, like in a black and white shirt. Like it doesn't. It feels like FIFA done it. It's meant like it's just got like some like cheat code on FIFA and just got like someone like really really good that you didn't deserve.
You can just tell it. I remember when we some of Trippier's first games would say, "Wow, he's a cut above the rest."
Yeah.
And as soon as Bruno played, you would just say, "Wow, how on earth have we signed him? Why is he
crazy on it?" Even his debut, remember his debut? We were there. It was the Everton game. He only got like the stoppage time. He got like 5 minutes.
I can't remember those things, but the tweet came out after looking at the stats. The amount of touches he had and successes. Every game, his success rate's just off the charts.
Yeah,
he just doesn't give the ball away. Every pass is successful. His movement, he's just out of this world. Bruno Guimaraes, like, out of this world.
Yeah, I think as we got like Dan Burn, very good signing.
Yeah, solid.
I think Target's
been amazing.
Even though he's only a loan. I think Target's. I think.
How does though? With it being a loan signing,
I'd put forward
nothing money. You could say him.
I'd put forward underrated signing of the season for Target. Absolutely 100% underrated signing of the season.
Big money. 35-40 million. Eventually, it's going to rise to about 42 million. Target was free.
Target underrated signing of the season without a doubt. Yeah.
I think like
hopefully we can sign him. Whatever the transfer fee is, I'm hearing like anywhere between 13, 15 million. Bargain. Get him in.
Bargain. Get him in all day long. I think he was.
Yeah. So I'll side with you with Bruno because I think it is extremely close. I think in terms of what he's done, obviously because he played more game time because Trippier was injured. Obviously 5 goals, huge contribution. We'll award Bruno signing of the season, but I think going forward, and because he was the first one, I think Trippier deserves massive credit, and I think he's a cultural signing. I think like going forward, the future, because of Trippier being the first one to take the plunge, it's one for the books. Like it's cultural, and he deserves it, even after only playing 6 games. But yeah, we'll give it to Bruno.
Sets the tone, doesn't it? Trippier signing, because I think
Yeah.
Bruno looks at it and thinks, "Wow, Trippier signed for that."
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
national player.
And now Bruno's took the plunge. Everyone's gone. What, Trippier and Bruno?
Once people all now, when we try and sign someone in the summer, is we just show them clips of Bruno and war flags and the atmosphere, and they'll be like fucking right,
like Paqueta.
Exactly, Paqueta, right. All you need to do is just show them the last few months, and everyone will be dead up for it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so Bruno for signing of the season.
Now then. Match of the season. Not match of the day.
Season.
Match of the season.
That's a long episode.
It's just like the last bloody podcast. I think match of the season, we can sum it up in do you go entertainment wise, do you go result wise, do you go performance wise? Because there's games where we played really well and drew. Do you know what I mean? So
true.
Match of the season, you could
put some nominees.
I'm gonna go. This isn't my final one, but a nomination could be Leicester, Leicester Roma because of Bruno, because that feeling. The last second winner is very hard.
It's moments like that, isn't it? Yeah.
It's probably moment of the season. That's a good point, actually.
Did we pitch invade?
No, I didn't. Don't know why.
No, yeah, that's weird. That. Man United 1-1.
Man United 1-1 because it was just after Boxing Day. It was a nighttime game.
Should
have battered them.
I don't know why it didn't win that. Like,
absolutely, it should have been 4.
They were shit.
We're
absolutely.
We're going to beat them next season, like, because we should have easily beaten them
there.
Yeah. Everton. Trippier 3-1. That's right up there.
That I think that was a turning moment.
That's the night we got at the bottom 3.
We got out of the bottom 3 and we brought them in, and look where we are now.
Exactly.
They're well down there. Just caught survival just last night. Yeah. So that was a turning moment. Obviously, got to see Trippier in full flesh scored a wicked free kick. That was Bruno's debut.
I remember the Everton game as well. What was big for me was Lascelles scored an own goal. But within minutes, we went up the other end and the Lascelles scored again.
Seconds, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Straight away,
that was the difference. Like previous managers, heads would drop and we'd go on and lose that game, but the crowd and everything.
But when 1-0 down, didn't we? Yeah, when 1-0 down, like I was thinking, this is going to be a slug. This isn't going to be an enjoyable game. But literally straight away, bang, equaliser.
That was the change.
Yeah,
the change in the crowd, the coaching staff lifting the players, everything was different. So Everton game's right up there. I would put obviously the Arsenal game this week.
Arsenal game's a huge one.
Right up there, 2-0, best I've seen we play.
Potentially
in a very
my favourite game. Yeah.
The atmosphere was incredible. We dominated a side that was going for top 4. Dominated them from start to finish.
Ruined their chances.
Any other games? Notable Norwich and Brentford away were very good wins.
Enjoyable games. Very good games. Yeah. Even though we lost, I really enjoyed Chelsea away.
Chelsea
the performance, it was frustrating. It was fucking frustrating that we didn't get the penalty and we lost.
Yeah.
So it was up there with the frustration of the season, but performance-wise, I thought we were incredible against Chelsea, who were 3rd in the league. They were really, really good.
Yeah. There's got to be some more on that 9-game run that we went on. If we just quickly look through the fixtures in case we missed any glaringly obvious ones. Off the top of my head, though, I think we've covered most of them there. I'm trying to think what away game. I've been a lot of away games this season. I remember Wilson was over a kick against Palace. Was a draw. Southampton away was brilliant.
Southampton away was really, really good.
Leeds away. I was not that one, but that was good. That was a huge win at the time as well.
Yeah.
Right before the lads went on the mid-season break.
The Brentford game at home was interesting because that was Eddie Howe's first game, even though he caught COVID, so he wasn't even there. But like going forward, scoring 3 goals was phenomenal. It was just clear what needed to be done under Eddie Howe. Like defensively, were abysmal.
Yeah.
So that was a kind of like defining game as well.
That Burnley 1-0 first win this season. Seems like a lifetime ago. That Villa Trippier, that wasn't a great game. Like
no.
Yeah, Yeah, Tottenham away, that was definitely not a good game.
Nope, didn't enjoy that one.
Didn't enjoy that one. Palace Almiron, not a great game either. Got the job done.
Yeah. I think a lot of them, like in that 9-game unbeaten run,
Which is
although we've got the
it? It wasn't
results,
wow,
some of the
it's been
performances weren't great. Like, well, to be fair, like we just slugged through. And that's one thing that I want to improve on next season is
which I think we will.
like possession, like dominating games.
I mean,
Like
look at Arsenal, we had 70% possession or something.
yeah, we're bad at it. Yeah. But I want to see more of that. Like that's what we should be playing. Like when you look at teams like Man City, like battering us off the park, like 1% possession or something like that in the second half.
We play Fulham.
Yeah, like that's what we need to start doing because like in that 9-game unbeaten run, a lot of the times it's like Steve Bruce stats, like 30% of possession. Like we didn't do great. So for me, I think it's got to be the Arsenal game. I think we did absolutely dominate a team who were relying on beating us, and it was kind of like you get Newcastle. We'll go in there, beat Newcastle, get top 4, neighbour, piece of piss. But they came here, underestimated we, and were absolutely dominated them. One of the only times that we've really dominated a very good team. I think it's the only time we've beat a top 6 team all season.
Yeah.
And like I say, it wasn't just like a scrappy game. It's not like we had 30% possession where we've done all right enough defensively just to go and score a winner. We're dominated. We're phenomenal. We're really, really good. 2-0 win, clean sheet. Yeah, like the atmosphere as well. I think that helps. Like the war flags and the lap of honor at the end.
It should have been more than as well.
It was a really, really enjoyable night. That was.
Yeah,
Really enjoyed that. So yeah, it's got to be the Arsenal game for me.
Yeah, Arsenal for me. I did do an article for BBC last week actually, and I said the Everton game, but now obviously that was before the Arsenal one. I would say obviously Arsenal as well.
Everton's up there as like a season-changing moment, but for just enjoyment, that Arsenal game was just second to none.
Performance, result, atmosphere, everything.
But I think that's what helped. Like war flags need an award. We'll create an award. Like atmosphere of the season goes to war flags. Like I respect the hell out of them for boycotting Mike Ashley, and I think it absolutely showed. Like I remember just before COVID, going to a couple of games, like right before lockdown, I was looking around the ground, and it was. I felt emotional at how shit the atmosphere was because it really, really was. Like, I think I can't remember. It was like Burnley. It was 0-0, or might be even been the 1-0 win against Chelsea where we didn't expect out. Isaac Hayden scoring that winner, 94th minute. Like I remember, like them 2 games. I think they were the last 2 home games before COVID, and I just remember thinking like, this atmosphere is fucking shit. Like we're known for our passionate fan base and wild fans just going supporting my team home and away, but because of like war flags exclusion and a lot of like season ticket holders boycotting and all sorts, like the atmosphere it generally upset us because it was just shit. It's not what we know as Newcastle fans. But now they've come back since the takeover. Every week, every game is getting better and better and better in the build up to that Arsenal game, and honestly, I've never known out like it in my life. You would have thought it was like Anfield on the European night.
You would.
It was fucking last game of the season against Arsenal. We're not to play for.
Not to play for. Mental. And like you said about being sad looking around, now when I'm at St. James, I'm like,
it's still emotional, but on the opposite end.
It's the complete opposite.
Yeah,
like,
it's still emotional, but for a good reason.
Getting in dead early for that Arsenal game, like being in 50 minutes early, and they're already the songs are on and the flags are waving. And it is proper emotion. You just look around. I remember us at the women's game. I just felt proper proud.
Yeah,
that many people turning out for the women's game. It's proper emotional.
Yeah, flags out for the women, like 22,000 people. Like
crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy. It's crazy that Ashley never tapped into this fan base of how good we are.
Sparker.
Turn around, mental.
Right.
But I also
last award
category.
Goal of the season. What a little think about this one, didn't I? I cannot really
feel them kept popping up.
Put my finger on it. Like there's a few there. Trying to work out Joe Linton's goal away to Norwich was a good one. His first one, not the second one.
Yeah,
that was a good goal. Almiron, probably the only player to win a goal of this goal of the month this season. So that was a very good goal, assisted by Bruno.
Yeah,
good control on the chest, pumped it down long to the wing. Almiron, good control.
Wonderful finish.
Got into the box, extremely good finish.
Bruno's against Norwich, the little dink.
Oh, that sexy was just sexy. That
very sexy that was.
Bruno's header against Leicester.
Because that's on a rage now. Because
Joe
for what Willock actually does brilliant. Joe Willock stops it going
really
out for a goal kick, keeps it in,
and
then we'll bomb up the line. And Bruno's gut busting run right in the last to still have that energy and determination in the 95th minute.
Yeah.
It was unreal. Getting on the end of it, the finish.
Yeah, for what that meant as well, like just to get another 3 points closer to survival, because we were relatively safe by then, but it wasn't like home dry, was it? So that was a huge 3 points for that.
Yeah.
And
then Southampton though, Bruno's
flick,
back flick thing. Like,
Wood's header, no? Like Wood's header was a really
right?
good header, yeah. But Bruno's little back flick, that was incredible.
That is one of the best goals I've ever seen. Obviously, it did the rounds as well, didn't it, on socials and all the views it got, because it was just a crazy finish. The way he got that in was mental.
Trippier's against Everton, free kick.
That was brilliant, to be fair. And again, in terms of importance of a goal, that's probably the top
it's
one.
Up there, yeah, absolutely.
That sealed the 3-1 win, sealed us getting out of the relegation zone on the night.
Yeah, what a free kick that was! Now, by the way, it's absolutely sensational.
He just dips it just so quick. The whip on it, the whip is unreal.
Couple of goals from Maxi there. Home 1-1 draws with Man United and Watford. They were good finishes. Jinking in from the left, typical Maxi goals, really. Maxi's goal against Brentford, same kind of goal.
Wilson's against Palace was amazing as well.
Longstaff's against Watford.
What was that one?
Outside the box. I think it took a little bit of a nick.
When I was
right in the top bins.
Right past
that was a good goal.
That was a really good strike.
Yeah.
Palace, Wilson's overhead kick was good.
Hendricks against Wolves.
Good finish, that.
Outside the box. 30 yards in.
Exactly. He had the big eyes, yeah. He's laughing at me.
Yeah, it is one that's just come to mind, which I absolutely loved. First game of the season, Wilson's header 5 minutes in. Maxi's work on the right-hand side, footwork, just in and out, just taking everyone on. Then finally got a little bit of space. Good ball in. Header from point blank. But like the skill from Maxi, that's what you want from Maxi. That's what I want to see more of. Like that skill, instead of just trying to take everyone on and get into a position to shoot for yourself, get it in the box. Like when you got people like Wilson, even Woods an aerial threat, get the ball into the box. Like that was dangerous. The skill, getting past his man, the delivery, the finish. Incredible goal that was. I really, really enjoyed that one. And that was the first goal of the season, went 1-0 up against West Ham.
Aye.
So yeah, I like that one.
There's a few to choose from. If I'm going to pick one. I'm torn between Trippier and Bruno's against Southampton. Trippier, Everton, and Bruno Southampton's probably the one for me. Like,
I'd go Trippier. Bruno's goal, great improvisation. Is that the word? Improvisation? That's the word. Really like just Brazilian silky samba skills. That like one that's like just
street ball.
That was incredible. But Trippier's goal, I think, for where we were at that time, like we mentioned, lost me pen. Like how much that Everton game meant, like getting us out the bottom three, suckering Everton in, a dominant display, 3 goals against a team that looked like they were turned around. I think that was Frank's first league game, and they'd done really well the week before. I think it was the Cup.
They beat Brentford.
They beat 4-0 or something. Yeah. So and they just signed Dele Alli and Van der Beek and people like that. I think they looked like that was going to turn their season, but we dominated, we smashed them. A couple of good goals, were 2-1 up, and I think they were pushing a little bit. Like I was thinking, like this is going to finish 2-2. You know, I just didn't think we were going to see that out. But from that distance, I think we were there. And now we watched that game with Kendall, wasn't it? And Nargansia, he's going to score this, you know. But I genuinely didn't think he was going to score from that angle, from that range, and it was incredible. So yeah, I think that's got to be my goal of the season.
Trippier goal of the season. Then there it is. That's the end of our. And just to mention. Anyhow, manager of the season without a doubt, isn't he?
Manager of the season, yeah. Not just for Newcastle.
No, not just for us, which would be hard. Him and Bruce. Or Graham.
Don't
forget Gateshead Graham.
Gateshead Graham, eh? Not too bad.
Unbeaten. He wasn't unbeaten, but we have Chelsea. Unbeaten Palace and somewhere else, didn't he? Did the Palace game.
Yeah.
Brighton?
Brighton, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you rank them?
How do I rank?
Managers.
All 3 of them?
Yeah.
Eddie, Graham and Steve.
I would.
Yeah. Never want to talk with Bruce again. But
that's the season done.
Overall,
I don't want to talk with fucking Brucey anymore.
Overall, Eddie Howe is still manager of the season for me across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there it is. There's the end of season awards.
Owner of the season?
Get some controversy out of it. Yes. Oh, no doubt. To our good friends, Amanda, me and Dad, PIF.
Absolutely.
We love you. Thank you very much. Drop your comments below what you've made of them awards. Agree or disagree. Drop who you think should be in there. Did we miss any games or any goals? I'll let me know. Subscribe to my channel TV. Enjoy yourself.